Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today I'm going to talk about penetration testing tools. Not the penetration testing methodology, that will be after. Today I'm just going to talk about different tools and sites that you can probably use for your tools. Now, this is not a complete list of tools that I will provide, but there are plenty of tools out there. Once you start getting into this, I advise you, or I recommend that you go look for different tools that you will need. Certainly, once you get into this field, you'll be able to see that there are many or plenty of tools that you can use. But this is just a short video that I wanted to make. And again, with the tools that I'm going through, I'm going to make videos for each tool and show you how to use it. So let's start and see how we can start testing. So penetration testing tools. Okay. So as you can imagine, there are many penetration tools, which I already say I could be missing, but my attempt here is not to enumerate many, but to help you find as many as you can in your pen testing job or career. There are many websites that I can also provide, but I will do a different video for that. Note, disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only and not to be performed in any company without their consent, because you can get in a lot of trouble. So make sure that you get permission. Get out of jail card, that's what we call it. So in case you're doing something, make sure that you do it with the right channels. Alright, so let's start. Reconnaissance tools for your penetration testing. There could be many reconnaissance tools, but you can be passive or active reconnaissance. It depends. The passive is for example, when you're pinging their IP address, or you're pinging their network, you're trying to find out their network IPs, servers, etc. I mean that it's called a active reconnaissance. So passive is the ones that you go to find out who is, their IP address, but via another means. Not just doing it directly to the enterprise's location. So I would say, the different reconnaissance tools could be Google. You could be finding out who they are through their network, their social networks. Maltigo, it's another one that you can use. Recon NG, Shodan, Nmap, Datasploit. I mean, there's many. As long as you can probably Google it and go reconnaissance tools. So this is something that you can probably look it up and find out on your own. And I advise you to start doing those things. If you want to get into cybersecurity, you have to be capable of doing things on your own. Not waiting for anybody to provide anything for you. And also, scripting is very important. I do a lot of PowerShell scripting, but also I've been doing Python, which is really important in this field. And I feel like both are PowerShell and Python. So I advise you to start looking it up, to see how to learn how to work with Python and PowerShell. I would say both of them are going to give you an edge, in this field. So because sometimes you're not able to find any tools, but you could probably create one. With Python and PowerShell. Now, when it comes to domain information, who is lookup, it's a good tool to find out, different information about the domain. I'm not gonna go further into this. I'm just gonna give you the gist of it. IP and DNS tools. Okay, that's another one that you can also, like I said, find out where, what type of IP and DNS tools you can use for your penetration testing. So you can have who knows, DNS tools. Let's say SPF record checker, domain DNS validation, reverse IP lookup, DNS lookup, what's my DNS, MX lookups, NS lookups. I mean, there's so many, right? DMARC validation tool, DKIM checker, DNS key lookup, domain DNS health check. For IP tools, ping IPv4 address, ping IPv6 address. You can go to a website and find out what's my IP address, trace route, IP decimal converter, IP blacklist checker, trace email, header analyzer, IP location lookup. I'm just giving you the gist of it, so you can you know, probably try to see if you can do it on your own, find out what you need. And at the same time, I mean, if you want to get into this field, I would say not to try to go into advanced things without you knowing the basics. Don't try to go into penetration testing certification. Don't try to go into cybersecurity engineering, CISSP, CompTIA cybersecurity analyst. I would say you have to know the basics, and the basics is the Security Plus from CompTIA. But at the same time, if you have the Network Plus, if you have Cisco courses, if you understand the network flow traffic, if you understand servers, if you understand how the endpoints work, all that. I mean, this is the basic stuff. But also going back to the IP and DNS tools, this is a good website that could help you. Okay, that's a good website for you to start getting into it. And like I said, if you want to get into this field, you need to know exactly if you want to become a white hat hacker or black hat hacker or whatever. I mean, it's up to you. But I would say you have to respect the organization's privacy in whatever they have in their network. Okay, next tool, it will be combination OSINT tools, which is this is another one that you can use for your penetration testing. This is something that for open source intelligence. It is the OSINT framework will be a good website for you to get some good insight information, without even doing a physical or a well, you will be doing a passive search. So this one right here, it's a good website to go to, which will really help you a lot in understanding the OSINT framework. Okay. The next one will be breach data. Okay. So for that, I would say there's many. This is not a passive reconnaissance anymore. This is I think it's more active than anything else. Maybe when it comes to that, when it comes to breach data, that's when a company suffers a security incident which results in a breach. It could be confidentiality, integrity, availability. You know, it is likely if that occurs that the breach poses a risk to the individual's rights and freedoms of the company or organizations. If it's a high risk, the pertaining stakeholders should be informed right away. And I am assuming that if that happens, you have a incident response plan, which again, it's only an assumption. Most companies should have, which believe me, some of the companies that I work for don't even know what it is, or level one and level two SOC departments don't know that and don't have an idea or a clue what that is. So like I said, when you have a breach data, that is also something that has to be looked into right away. Now, I'm not going to get into that because, like I said, I'm going to make a video for each of the points that I'm making here, explaining each one. That way, I can get into more details. But like I said, I'm just giving you the gist of it. Number 6, penetration enumeration tools, right? So let's say you need to, there's plenty of tools of testing for enumeration, right? Now, this is something that you must be able to follow, learn, and be able to come up of those tools on your own, because when you do a penetration testing, you cannot divulge that information to anybody except, when you go to a company, you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, meaning for both parties, you and them, because they will not be able to divulge what tools you use, what methods you use, what scripts you use, and you will not also talk about what the technology that company has, right? So, there's plenty of penetration testing tools. Like just gonna give you a few, like Hydra, John the Ripper, Hashcat, SQL Map, WP Scan, which is also great. And then so on and so forth. But also at the same time, if you understand, uh, what you want to do, and sometimes you cannot find a tool for all those for penetration testing, I would suggest that you keep learning. Again, I go back to PowerShell and Python, which is pretty important. Okay, so here's another good website with penetration testing tools that you can probably look it up, and it'll help you also at the same time. But don't just base your knowledge on somebody providing tools for you. You should be able to come up with strategies and scripts that will help you gain an upper hand when you're doing a penetration testing. Okay. Number 7, Nmap commands. What most network admins do know Nmap, and Nmap is a tool that it's not only, and this is the mistake that I've heard many people, I would say, IT related people that are not into cybersecurity, they think that Nmap it's for hackers, and it's not, and this is where they're wrong. I had an interview once, and people were asking me, okay, about doing a troubleshooting for a network, and after I exhausted all of the options that I had, to investigate what was going on, I said, well, you know what? I guess my next step would be to use Nmap. And the guys were like, what? You can't use Nmap. I said, why not? Oh, because it's a hacking tool. So I said, no, it's not. But anyways, I wasn't going to argue with them. I just said, okay, if you think so, then. But anyways, Nmap commands, these are really good for you to know to understand. There's even Nmap scripts that you can use. And like I said, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to make a video explaining the different commands for Nmap. Ping scans, you already know about those, right? Ping scans, I mean, you can either use them in Linux, or you can use them in Windows. Nowadays that I do ping scans, I do more than that with PowerShell. I think it's more proficient and more powerful than just regular DOS commands. Okay, so that also I will have samples video for that also. So scanning TCP and UDP, that's another one. There's plenty of tools for that at the same time. Number 10, identifying host attributes. We can go into that. I said more details when I make my video for that. Look, number 12, Nmap. Oops, I think I skipped one number. Nmap scripts. Nmap bypassing a firewall. That would be interesting. Because I'm sure the hackers do it. So that's something that we need to learn, and we need to know how to block it and make sure that that doesn't happen. Enumeration, social engineering, Wi-Fi fisher, shellfish, payloads and exploits. If you have taken the Cybersecurity Plus or Security Plus from CompTIA, you will know what a payload is and what an exploit is. I'm hoping. Pawn drop, Metasploit. Is another great tool for vulnerability testing. There's different payloads that you can send to the end user or to a server even. But anyways, we'll get into that when the time comes, when I make the video. Interpreter is another one. Network attacks, ARP, reverse ARP poisoning, VLAN hopping, what is it called? I think it's a VLAN traversal. I think SNMP. Don't think about this on number 27, DOS and DDoS. DOS is denial of service, and DDoS is distributed denial of service, which I will explain in my video. Sniffing, DOF, evil twin, OWASP, top 10, cross-site scripting, SQL injection, Linux, the different penetration of vulnerability tools that you can use, which I'm going to make a video of that with Kali Linux. Credential attacks, that's another one. Pass the hash, mobile devices attacks, SCADA, supplementary, what's it called, SCADA again? I'm trying to remember. I think it's supplementary control and data acquisitions. Yeah, that's it. This is a control system architecture comprising computers, network, data communications, and graphical users. This is important, SCADA. So IoT, Internet of Things, that's another one that we need to be aware of. IoT, like those smart TVs, those cars that have GPS, that have voice activation, that you have doorbells that are connected to the internet, you have fridges that are connected to the internet, things like that. ICS, industrial control system. So that's another one. Describes the integration of hardware and software with network connectivity in order to support the critical infrastructure. So that's another important topic that we need to embrace. APT, advanced persistent threats. That's a major one that as a penetration tester, as a cybersecurity analyst, you should be well aware of who or what they are. Attacking Windows, that's another one. Okay, as you can imagine, there are many penetration tools that probably I could be missing because yeah, I mean, there's so many. Believe me, I have so many different links of sites that are addressing cybersecurity, sites that are addressing tools that are having this and that. I just have a few here. I mean, as time goes by and as I bring more videos to you, I will have them also here so you can check them out. Um, there are many websites that I can also provide, but I will do a different video for that. Uh, Remember, don't do anything to any company without consent. You have to know the right procedure. You have to do the right paperwork. I will also have a video about penetration testing, the different administrative steps that you must take in order for you to be able to proceed, the type of assessments that you have. You have to know the difference between external, internal, wireless, physical, web application, malware, maybe the red team. You can be part of the red team, purple team. Um, you know, uh, and like I said, this is some of the sites here that you can use. There's a great chat. I mean chat. There's a great site that I found that it does. It's an AI that is helping me build my scripts, and I don't really. I mean, I do customize it sometimes to the way that I need it, but this is something that you need to look into. It's an AI, and it will help you build the tools that you need, either Python, PowerShell. Well, I do mostly PowerShell and Python, so I don't know if it does. I'm sure it does something else, but that's what I use it for, and it works great. You know. Again, guys, this is it for my presentation. It was a short one, but I just wanted to bring that up to your attention so that you know I wanted to show you the different topics that I wanted to talk about on my next upcoming videos, and I will also speak about the assessments and the right process and procedures that you have to follow when doing a penetration testing. Until then, thank you much, and hope you enjoy, and I'll speak to you again. Bye bye.